All right, good morning, people of YouTube. So today we are back again with another profile. This time it's going to be Magnamon X in the BT10 format. So this is a deck that was kind of like tier 2-ish in the BT9 format because it didn't really have the tools to contend with a lot of the meta. However, in this current format, we have decks like Minerva Loop, Crossheart, and Jesmon, Metal Garurumon, just to name a few. And Sister Mons can't get past Magna X. Where Garurumon X can't get past this card. Cerberusmon also can't get past this card. Cross 4 can't get past this card. So this is a really good card into all of the best decks in the meta. So by virtue of that, this deck finds itself being bumped up on the tier list considerably this format. Plus, with the introduction of BT10, this deck did get access to a new level 7 in Jesmon GX. So this card can evolve on top of any level 6 with Royal Knight in its traits for just 5 memory, which is kind of a lot. It will typically pass turn, but when Digivolving, you can place one card with Royal Knight in its traits and a play cost of 13 or less from your hand or trash underneath this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Then you get to activate one of that card's Wind Digivolving effects as this Digimon's own effect, and then Blitz. It also says if you have a Royal Knight card in its traits, in this card's Digivolution sources, you get Security Attack +1 for each one, and then Piercing and Blocker. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to do a combo like this. So let's say we got Zunisha here, right? We're going to put that as a memory marker at 3 memory because we're going to start our turn like with a Davis or something. Let's just say we start our turn with 3 memory and we have a generic armor Digimon in the raising area. We promote it. For convenience sake, we'll just say we got the best stack available. We got the EX1 Vmon and the Magnamon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Awakening of the Golden Knights for 3. We can go to 0, evolve Magna into Magnamon X. We will draw a card, doesn't matter what it is. Now this stack cannot have its DP reduced. So if we're playing against Crossheart, Sunrise Buster, one of their best removal cards, becomes completely invalid. So next we can attack with this if we want. We're swinging at 11,000 DP with no fear of Sunrise Buster. There's nothing really in Crossheart that can deal with this, right? So we do our free check, and then to end our turn, we evolve into Jesmon GX for 5 memory. This card says, we'll draw for Digivolution. We'll activate its effect. We'll take a Royal Knight card from our trash and put it as bottom Digivolution source. We'll take Magnamon. Magnamon will enter the stack, then we'll activate Magnamon's Wind Digivolving effect as our own effect, which says unsuspend this Digimon. Then, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 for every armor form trait card in your trash. So this card will be at 15,000 plus whatever the Magnamon boost gives it. The Magnamon will unsuspend it, and then Jesmon GX will get Blitz and be able to swing over something with Piercing, and then if you have the Magnamon in the stack that you went over with the X Antibody, you'll have the 2 Magnamons and the X Antibody giving you 3 Royal Knights in your sources, making you hit for the remaining 4 security. This deck gained access to a very powerful new tool, and this is kind of what this deck needed. It was a top end. So this deck had really consistent answers to bottom end base decks, like the Magnamon X. Like I said, where Garurumon and the like can't get around this card. So you gave this deck a card that deals with the things that can get around Magnamon X and Jesmon GX, and that is a very welcome addition to the deck. Oh, and also, if we have this Vmon in our stack, we won't put our opponent to 5 memory, we'll put them to 4 because this card will unsuspend, triggering this Vmon effect. So, it's not as expensive as it sounds on paper either if you get the right setup, and I think this combo is pretty busted and makes this deck pretty viable. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the card by card. Starting off with the level 2s, our 4 of is going to be Upamon, the one from BT1 that lets us draw. We want our eggs to be drawing us cards. If you feel like you need a 5th egg, you can try the Vmon or the Demi-V that lets you draw if you have jamming, or the Baby Domon that came out in BT10. I personally don't like either of those cards. I think this deck does well with just the 4 Upa. But if you feel like you need a fifth egg, those are options that also draw cards. So for the level 3s, we got 4 copies of the Jamming Vmon, 3 copies of the Vmon from the Ulforce starter deck. This is in here to draw some more cards, giving us advantage early game. We have 3 copies of the Vmon from BT8 that let us search 2 color cards. The Vmon from the Imperial starter deck will not let you grab Magnamon X Antibody, because Magnamon X Antibody is not a free type, it is Vaccine. This card lets us grab that, as well as cards like Megadeth, Davis Ken, things like that. So this is, I think, the better searcher in the deck. We have 3 copies of the Vmon from EX1 to combo with the Jesmon GX and with the Magnamon. And then we got 2 copies of Madoki Betamon, letting us shut down memory gain, things in Minerva Loop, memory boost, things of that nature, giving us a total of 15 rookies in the deck. So I like having Armor Rush have a higher count of rookies, and this is what I've decided to go with. For the level 4s, I got 4 copies of Magnamon, staple in a Magnamon-based deck. We got 3 copies of Lightramon. This is our generic blue-green that lets us trigger our Davis Ken. This is really good to evolve in the raising area, just for that kind of synergy. But this card has new value this format, since your opponent will be playing cards like Huckmon and things that will get them searches, like the Gabumon and the Agumons that have the on-play. This card lets you pick them off before they kind of evolve into anything stupid. So I do like 3 of that. We do have 2 copies of Flamedramon. Flamedramon gets plus 3,000 when you attack, making him beefy. Beefy is good. So I do like this card, but these are the only armors that we are playing in the level 4 lineup. I wanted to make room for the last 3 level 4s in the deck. I got 2 copies of the Leomon from EX2. This card in my testing has been pretty good this format. People won't start with a lot of memory. People are trying to dwindle down on their memory tamers in their lineups. So if you have a Leomon that you can evolve over like this Jamming Vmon, whenever it swings, it'll live, right? So if you evolve into Leomon past them at 1, then you give them this body that they don't want to deal with, so it'll unsuspend and be able to swing again on the next turn. And if they do deal with it, then you'll make them pass turn by giving you the 2 memory, giving you the draw off of the Leomon, and then giving you more advantage overall. So I do like Leomon for that reason. It's a good blocker, and it just recurs you advantage. And then the last level 4 in the deck, we have the 1 copy of Lobo for game. This could be Kuma. I'm deciding to play Lobo, so I think the 5,000 DP is kind of relevant. Mostly you just want to have a 2 cost to evolve, just in case you have to go over a rookie. That's it for the level 4s. I don't play Chimeramon in the list. I was testing it, but it was bricking more often than it was helping. It is a good card, and I think you could consider it. I just elected not to play it to make more room for some of my other choices. So one of those choices being bumping Magnamon X Antibody up to 4. So the reason for this is this card is just cracked this format, and you need to see it. If you're playing this at 3, then there's the chance that you won't draw this before Crossheart does their, stupid cross 4 loop, and then they just hit you for all your security and you lose. But if you play 4 of this, then you're probably going to draw this in a Magnamon or like an Awakening of the Golden Knight. Get a way to get into this card. And yeah, no, I've not been in a situation where I haven't seen this card. So, and I'd rather see too many than not enough, especially this format, because this is your main win condition. And when this doesn't work, you have Jesmon GX. I play 2 copies of this, mostly because this isn't searchable by any of my conventional means, so it gets bottom decked a lot. So when that happens, I want to find a way to get another one. I feel like 2 is like the ideal number. Just because you don't need this card in every matchup, but you want to be able to see it when you do need it. So I do like this card at 2. Next, we have 2 copies of Death X, just because this card just makes every deck better this format. There are things that Magnamon can't deal with, and in situations like that, if you can't get up into a GX, you're going to be thankful that you do have the Death X. And while Magnamon and Leomon can kind of slow down your opponent's progression, oftentimes that'll lead to them having a wide board. And in a deck like this, your opponent's going to be like, man, they're not going to play Death X on me. And then you go, psych, and then drop the Death X, and then they lose their board state, and then you feel like you're going to win that game. But that's it for the Digimon. So on to the Tamers. I played 2 Davis and 2 Davis Ken. The card that I want to bump up most in this list is Davis Ken. If I could find any card to cut out, maybe if I cut out a rookie, this card would go up to 3, but I don't want to cut a rookie, and I like all of my options. But the Davis sets you to 3, can get you 2 cards. The Davis Ken is really valuable in this deck for being able to tap and unsuspend whenever you swing. Like, if you swing with, like, a Lightramon at security and it dies, then you can go into, like, a Flame Dramon, tap this, and then unsuspend your dude, swing again. So this card is valuable for the aggression. But you really only need to see 1 in order to win the game. So a 3 can be kind of clunky. So for that reason, I think this is fine at 2, but I would like to bump this up. And that's it for my Tamers. You could play... Sora and Matt, the red and blue tamer that says if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you get plus a memory, and if your opponent has 8 or more, then you get plus a memory as well. It'll also give you a red source in order to play cards like Crimson Blaze if you wanted to do that as well. You could bump up the Flame Dramon count in that sense if you want. I think that is a good card in that deck, especially since it will let you bounce Floodgates if you unsuspend your Magnamons and things. But I don't want to commit to that because I feel like paying 4 memory in this deck is a lot, considering a lot of your plays are a lot lower to the ground. And that's another reason why I think only 4 Tamers is kind of fine, because these cards are great when they come out of security, but if you get too many of them stuck in your hand, you're going to be at a disadvantage. And now for the options to close out the list. We have 2 copies of Awakening of the Golden Knight. Not only does this card allow any armor to evolve into Magnamon X, or Magnamon for that matter. You can go Magnamon into Magnamon and then get another unsuspend and then swing more times, which is pretty funny. But not only does it allow you to do that, but it allows you to make yourself unable to have your DP reduced, so you can completely play around Sunrise Buster, which is very common in a lot of decks nowadays. We have 2 copies of Fire Rocket, because it's all we had room for. This is a fantastic card. But because we have security pressure with the Jesmon GX, you don't need to rely on Fire Rocket to win the game. So I feel like 2 of this is also fine. It's kind of the same reasoning as the Davis Ken. It's more of a win more card, and it can clump if you see multiples. But whenever you do see it, you're going to be thankful that you did. So I feel like 2 is a good number. A card that we unfortunately had to play less of in this list was Megadeth. I'm only playing 3 of this. And the reason I'm only playing 3 is because I'm only playing 2 Davis Ken. And also, again, because of space issues. But this card is really crucial into matchups like Alphamon, matchups like Black or Greymon. If you can force them to burn up their Greymon X source or do anything like that, even if you can just suspend them with this card and then punch over with the Magnamon X, because their inheritable doesn't protect them from suspending, and it also doesn't protect them from being killed in battle. So if you can get enough armors and trash, you can just kind of beat over it that way, by suspending it and then just punching it. So the Megadeth is very, very crucial, and I think that you should try to play 4 of this card. Again, just space is tight, so we're getting away with 3. I play 3 copies of Hammer Spark. Again, space is tight, but this is a phenomenal card for being able to clutch out extra memory and being able to swing for game. Being able to do any of the plays that you need to do. Hammer Spark is great. And also hitting this card in security just feels bonkers. And then, speaking of hitting good cards in security, the last card on the list is Ice Wall. Because it's blue, and we can play Ice Wall. So, that's it. That's Magnamon X. That's the Jesmon GX combo as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile and the combo tutorial. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Let me know if you think I should do more videos in this style, if you think this combo should be at the beginning of the video or at the end. What would be more watchable for you guys? Yeah, but that's all I gotta say this time. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.